Okay, before I get going, let me acknowledge some of the persons who have tuned in there. Lolita Bihari, Nicole Edmond, Polly Johnson, uh, Lilta Ramcharan, Maniram, Nina Singh, Ronnie Persaud. Oh, Persaud too. Anita, was it? Sitaram, Tara, Subrian. I do wear glasses, but I haven't worn it in a while, so I think I need to start wearing it again. I hate it. I hate wearing glasses, but I have to because, for the health of my eyes, I have to fix my tie. Don't get it twisted. This tie is not from the PNC. Yeah. This is not a PNC tie. Don't get it twisted. So it's not crooked. If it's a PNC tie, then you have to worry because maybe the tie came with some kind of sorcery to hypnotize you or watching. But it's not a PNC tie. It's bought in a store. So it's not crooked. It seems like it's crooked, like this part here. But it's not. Yeah, it's good. Yes, good afternoon from Texas. Okay. All the persons who are watching from wherever in the world you are, whichever part of the world you are, whatever country, Australia, Europe. I do have fans in Africa. You'll be surprised. You will think that the most hated Negro on the internet, which is me, would have a lot of fans on the continent of Africa. I do. Surprisingly so, but I do. Nonetheless, greetings to all of you from whichever part of the globe you're watching or you've tuned in. Welcome to this edition of Uncensored, that is Dr. Love Persaud, Uncensored. Today on Uncensored, I need to cover a few pressing issues that is pertinent towards the smooth flowing of the rivers of progress in Guyana. All the things that are there and continues to hinder, continues to somehow cast a negative shadow on the beautiful aura that is visible over that beautiful land we call Guyana. And the positive energy that continues to radiate from the person of the decent, law-abiding Guyanese citizen across the board. Whenever I categorize indecency, thuggery, nonsense, ghettoism, I'm speaking to a small micro minority that makes it their career. It is their career. It is their career to constantly terrorize, demonize, and be like a immovable stumbling block in the pathway of the progress that we see happening in Guyana since 2020. But I want to be specific here. We cannot take for granted that this progress started in 2020. It hasn't. The journey that Guyana has found itself on happened all the way back in the 90s when Dr. Jagan took or regained control of the nation that he fought for, that he rightly deserved to be the king. That journey began then. The foundation was laid with Jagan. And throughout the governorship of the PPP regime, stone has been laid on that foundation, and progress one brick at a time were visible around the country. Infrastructure were realized, roads were built, new schools, new offices, new government buildings, thousands of jobs were created. All of this stagnation that happened under the Burnham regime, it was done away with when the PPP took over. This is from Chetty, throughout Jagdeo, even in the time of Ramatar. And I tell you what, I'm not a fan of Ramatar. I'm not a fan of Ramatar. I think President Ramatar was a loser. I think he was a loser. He is one president that was afraid of the PNC. They had him by the balls. They manipulated him without mercy. The one president. I'm yet to consider as to how did Ramatar gain the votes from the Congress or the members of the PPP to be eligible for the presidential candidate's position, then to become president. You see, even within your camp, you have idiots who are blindsided by the reality that they should be focused on. Because the people who voted for Ramatar to make him the presidential candidate, I think they're idiots. There's so many other people who are there who could have done a better job. So I'm blessed within when I consider the fact that the best choice was made to make President Ali the chairman, hence making him eligible to be the presidential candidate. Because at that time, who else? Or was it a test to punish the people a bit by putting Ramatar, knowing that he would sacrifice the victory of the party in 2015 to the PNC? It was a risk. And the risk turned out to be a stupid one. Because whoever were responsible for putting him there, that is a gamble you should not have taken. 5 years you took away from the Guyanese people. 5 years. They had to suffer because of your mistake in putting Ramatar as the presidential candidate. This is why the laws should have been changed. This is why, since in Jagdeo time, President Jagdeo, you should not have signed that CARICOM deal or accord or whatever it is to bring the Constitution to two-term president. You shouldn't have signed it. I wouldn't have signed it. We are an independent nation, a sovereign nation. So what does pressure from the West or whoever has to do with when Guyana had its struggles, when Guyana had its issues? Who came to help? Guyanese had to figure out Guyanese problems. So you allow that pressure again from the PNC and the others, because they knew that if that was not done away with, they knew President Jagdeo would have won a third term. They knew that. So they had to pressure to say, hey, you're a dictator. Sign the accord. They had to do that. That was the only way because they didn't see any other candidate in the PPP through which they could stand a chance at manipulating in order to get a win. If Jagdeo had a chance to have a third term, without a doubt, without a doubt, he would have been president in 2015. Not 2015, when was it? 2010. He would have won again. And 2015. Because like I said before, when it comes to politics in Guyana, when it comes to being a strategist, there is no one like Vice President Jack. No one. And any politician that is clever in the PPP, any politician that is ambitious and clever, I suggest you study the ways of Jagdeo, study his writings, study his videos, his modus operandi, study it. And you may end up in the future like President Ali. So you need to reverse that thing. Because if you don't reverse it, and President Ali is only limited to 2 terms, if that is not reversed, and President Ali cannot run again in 2030, he can't, Jagdeo can't. We may have another idiot like Ramatar to fuck things up. Then the PNC have a chance in 2035. The PNC should never, ever again see any possibility of being in the position of might and power in Guyana. Never. The only way they can see a chance is if we have another idiot like Ramatar as president. And we don't want that. So we have to make sure that you structure your government in such a way that the candidate, as long as the people will have him, as long as the Guyanese voters, the Guyanese citizen would have a particular president for 2, 3, 4, and 5 term, why take it away from him? Why limit him to that? Do you see what's happening to other countries? They have to start all over again. Typically, look at America. Look at America. Progress can never happen there. It can never happen in America. What is keeping America alive is the private sector, not the government, not the Senate, not the Congress, the private sector. There is constant infighting Democrat, Republican, because you limit presidents to 2 terms. So when a Democrat president wins, he messes everything up the Republican president just did. A Republican president comes, he messes everything up. So there's no growth. I mean, that is good for the business sector. That is good for those people who want to control the economy. It's good, but not for Guyana. Progress must continue. It can only continue with one party, the PPPC. It can only continue. You are risking the future of the children of Guyana, the economy of Guyana, the safety of Guyana, if you keep changing political party every 5 years. Give the candidates, the presidents, the opportunity to say, hey, I have a 2nd term, and after that, I have a 3rd term. It's possible. Then you get more out of them. They perform more. because they want the voters to vote them again in the third term. That's how progress continues. What do you think happened? Let's go down to a relationship. Let's limit this. Let's narrow this to a relationship. If you have a couple, man and a woman, he doesn't give her the assurance that he's interested in more than just sex. She doesn't give him the assurance that she's interested in more than just money. What do you think happens? Neither of them have any guarantee that this is going to last 10, 20 years. So they hustle each other. She see how much she can get out of it because she don't know when he will quit. And he see what he can get out of it because he don't know when his money will dry up and she will move on. That's the thing. They don't have security. When it comes to a country, the nation needs unchallengeable, I'm looking for a word, not challenged, unwavering. Yeah. The nation needs unwavering security, firm, concrete security that, hey, if this candidate performs well, we want him back. But not to switch. Look at what's happening. Look at what is happening with the PNC camp. And I'm saying PNC camp. I'm saying PNC camp. Fuck it. Because it is PNC. APNU, AFC, all PNC. Enough of this nonsense. But AFC and APNU, they're all PNC. They came out of PNC to split the votes. The whole agenda was to pull votes from the PPP. That's it. To pull votes from the PPP. So the AFC comprises of a few Indian lunatics, hoping that they can gain the trust of the hardcore PPP supporters and pull a few thousands of them to the AFC, therein reducing the count of the votes for the PPP. But at the end of the day, you really have to be idiotic not to understand that all of them, including this guy, this boy, Azruddin Muhammad, including him, is PNC too. They come out, you see, the PNC is the pimp, the big pimp, the daddy pimp, and they're pimping all of these parties. Go and hustle. Hey, go and hustle. Bring that vote back here. Vote is money. So the PNC is sending these thugs out to go and hustle the streets, hustle the ghettos, go and pick and look for the vulnerable PPP voters. Get to them, give them money, bribe them, make them promises. Say, hey, your life will be better. Come with me, come in my camp, hustle for me, vote for me. And they're hoping to pull those votes. Then they take it to Big Daddy or Norton. Big Daddy. They say, hey, Big Daddy, I get you 10 votes, 100 votes, 1,000 votes. And then Big Daddy, if they happen to somehow mistakenly, accidentally get into power, he rewards them. Give them a ministry, give them something, rewards them. But that's what it is. They are hustling for the PNC. You understand? That's basically it. They're hustling for the PNC. If you trust them, if you think some billionaire who wants to have sanction removed from his name, who wants to seek redemption, they prostitute all their life, they're finished. The vagina is broken and retired. Now they come to church and singing, thank you, Lord, amen. Oh, amazing grace, amazing grace. Now, when they finish working themselves out, all the goodies are gone. Then they know God. Then they know Jesus. They come to church and put on a dress. Oh, Father, bless me, pray for me. And they want God to give them a man who's a virgin when they finish prostituting all their life. They have nothing else to offer. Same with this billionaire guy, Muhammad. All the evil, they're finished committing. Deals with the devil, kiss with a demon, everything. Now they want to come into politics to legitimize their status. Oh, he's a member of parliament, the Honorable Ashruddin Muhammad, to get respect now, to get recognition. Oh, member of parliament. So that somehow forgives all the evil that he has done throughout their billionaire empire. So people now have to bow to this member of parliament. That's it. That's basically it. It's like a drug dealer who made his money in a blood way, opens a car center, opens a restaurant, opens a cambio, and suddenly he's a legitimate businessman. And people over time forget the evil he did, the crimes he did to get his money. They now respect him as a legitimate businessman. Politics do that to you. All the crimes, all the evil, all the money laundering, everything that was committed, they enter politics and they somehow get some poor people, some hungry, desperate, poor people who are bitter with the government because the government don't visit their neighborhood in their house and give them money in their hands and say, go buy junk food. They're not looking at the fact that the government has built the roads where they live. They're not looking at the fact that the government has built the schools in their neighborhood. They're not looking at the fact that the government has reduced the cost of electricity, the cost of water, free healthcare, free education. They're not looking at that. The fact that they themselves, these so-called poor people, are so used to being lazy that even though a job comes to them, they're angry at the person who brought them the job. What the heck is wrong with you? Why would you think I want to go work? So they want to stay in that condition they are and have a few handouts from here and there, stand at the street corner, somebody pass them 100, pass them this, and then they're bitter. They join the crowd. They join the group who runs after this Azruddin Muhammad guy and cuss out the government. Yeah, the government is not helping the poor. But go visit them. Stand up. These same people. Observe them for one day, 24 hours. Observe them and look at what they're doing. They wake up late. Some of them don't shower. They don't clean their surroundings. They look at other people going to work and criticize them. They pick on women that are going to their jobs, trying to get their attention. That's what they're doing. And at the end of the month, when they're faced with their bills, they have no avenue to get that money. They look at what's in their house that they can sell, or they take it to the pawn shop. Then they get that money from the pawn shop, and what do? Instead of paying the debt that they have, they buy something that's trending, some fancy sneakers, a bag, something like that, or go to some bartel show. And after that, they run after Muhammad. Yeah, he's the man for the poor. He's the man for the poor. How could he be the man for the poor when he himself is mentally poor? You think wealth is money? You think riches is money? You think if that man was born in another family, that same Muhammad guy, if he was born in another family that has no money, you think his life would have turned out the way it is? Maybe he would have been a pickpocket or a criminal, but in terms of wealth, you think he has that initiative? You think he's a go-getter? Does he look like that to you? Check out his schooling. Go look at his schooling. Go look at the records. From that, you can tell what money makes people soft. So my message is not necessarily tailored for the idiots who think they're poor. You're lazy. You're stupid. I'm trying to use words that will not get me flagged, but you know that I can be more colorful than that. It's boring to have to sound like a preacher. Don't let these suits fool you. But I can't speak how I want. Understand that. It's a headache when I can't speak freely. Because when you talk about these people, you can't use normal words because they don't understand it themselves. That's how stupid they are. And they're from the PNC camp. So this thing that you're seeing about allegedly people are crossing over from the PNC. Don't forget, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. How many crossed over when Jagdeo was president? How many crossed over? Even in Ramatar time, how many crossed over? But now they're seeing that the best president has arrived. They're seeing now the world has endorsed President Ali. The world, thanks to social media, thanks to the internet, it was not that prominent and active during the days of Jagdeo and even Ramatar. Now, society has been reduced to the internet and the interconnectivity. The world has seen, wow, why didn't we know about Guyana before? It's never too late. Now is the right time that the world has seen what Guyana has produced. The best president, the best president in this generation, President Irfan Ali. Say what you want. This guy who asked me a question, not directly, but posted something. I read something somewhere. How much of African, was it? African history do I know? I know a lot, my historical background. I'm talking in terms of knowledge, but I know a lot about African history. I'm talking modern day, that I want no associations with. It is depressing to think and speak on that. That is one history I am not going to own. The modern day African history, I want to own it. You guys can keep it. I give you that. I'm not interested in it. It is depressing. It is ugly. It is poor. It is filled with poverty, crime, violence, hatred. I want nothing and no part of the so-called African history. Before that, it is yet to be substantiated. Just theoretical claims. No definitive proof. But the proof that you can prove, you can keep it. David Hines of African, whatever, you can keep that history. That's why you people behave the way you behave. If that's the history that has educated you and caused you to be so dormant, unproductive, violent, evil, if that's the history that has educated you and inspired you to be that today, you can keep it. Keep that history. I am inspired by beauty, peace, harmony, progress, wealth, intelligence, genius. I'm inspired by that. That's the kind of history I'm going to teach my offspring. The history of a people that made a difference in the world. So when they look around, they understand why the world is what it is. So if you are so proud, you want to talk about let's stand together. What is there? What is in the PNC camp? What is on their record from the Barnum time? What is on their record that anyone could be proud of? What? Name one thing they have done right that you can hold that and say, this is something the PNC has done that were beneficial to Black people. Name one thing. I'm waiting. I have a lot to talk about, so I have a few seconds to give you. You can't. But everything that is destructive, that is evil, poverty, as a matter of fact, listen to me. The PNC cannot protect you from poverty. The PNC cannot protect you from sickness, from homelessness, from crime, from drug addiction, from prostitution, from kidnappings, from loss of hope, from evil, from a bad reputation, from ignorance. And I can list them. The PNC, APNU, AFC, and the idiot Muhammad can't protect you from none of that. They don't have what it takes. Come on, be honest with yourself. Be truthful unto thyself. You need protection from all of these things, and all of these things is what characterizes poverty or being poor. The reason why you are poor, it is because you have a kinship with the PNC. Because you get your information, you get your inspiration from the PNC and people who are connected to the PNC. When I talk about PNC again, I reiterate and I emphasize emphatically, I'm talking about APNU, AFC, and all these fancy names that they got. I don't have the time to call all of them. PNC, that's what they are. They're all PNC. That's what they are. They can't protect you from none of that. We have seen how Guyana has progressed. Guyana ran away from Chedi. Guyana started to run away because Chedi was leading the race. Guyana was running away from poverty, violence, crime, sickness, disease, evil, ignorance from Chedi. Chedi was taking Guyana and Guyanese away from the stain and the scars that were inflicted on that great nation from who? It is good for us to say Barnum, yeah, but he had his soldiers. They say it's not the bullet that kills you, it's the person who pulls the trigger. So in this case, It was the bullet, the gun, and the person who pulled the trigger. Because Barnum is the one who pulled the trigger, and the gun was the PNC organization. The bullet were his thugs that went out and massacred the Indians and destroyed properties and destroyed civilization. They're all accountable. But were any of them charged with crimes against humanity? Were any PNC member brought before The Hague in the Netherlands? Like all the warlords in Africa were charged. Did any PNC person suffer the consequence of prison time or even death sentence for what they've done against the Indians in those times? Were they? No, not to my knowledge. They were not. So PNC can't protect you. The PPP, from the time of Chetty, then Jagdeo. Because Ramatar is PPP, I'll mention him. Now, Ali, only the PPP has the antidote, has the bunker, has the vaccine, has the protection, the fighters, the soldiers, the wall to keep Guyana and Guyanese safe. The PNC cannot. The PPP under President Ali, only the PPP can protect Guyanese from poverty. Only the PPP. And so far, you have seen the protection is holding out. That's one virus better than the COVID vaccine. The vaccine of the PPP that has made Guyanese immune, and all who will shall. You just have to join progress. All the people who are crossing over from the PNC, what do you think they're running from? The PPP is America. The people that are coming from the PNC are migrant refugees. They are coming to the PPP. They applied for asylum. They are running from the gangster dictator in the PNC. They are running for their lives. And the PPP is not doing what Trump is doing, closing the borders. No. The PPP is saying, bring your sick, bring your homeless, bring your destitute, bring your scared, bring your hungry, bring your jobless, bring your weak, bring your despair, bring your young, bring your old, bring your lost. Come to the PPP. All of you who are weary of the PNC and are heavy laden from the burden of the PNC, come to the PPP. That's what the PPP has been saying. And the persons who have come out of the PNC, they found a crossing and they crossed the border into the PPP camp. And now they're saying, thank you, God, for freedom. Freedom at last. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last in the camp of the PPP. So give those persons applaud. All the people from the PNC that has crossed over to the PPP, welcome them. Whatever their agenda is, it is not for us to judge. The point is, they come. When they go over to the PPP and they see that these people are not corrupt, these people are not prejudiced, these people are not racial, they're not biased, they're going to change whatever bad ways they had with the PNC They come to the PPP, they will change. That's what happens. Criminals come to church, they change. They adjust their mindset and lifestyle because they realize they're no longer in the ghetto. They're in a place where people trust each other. The PNC is the ghetto. The PPP is the church. So people come over to be baptized from the wrongs they have done with the PNC. They come to the PPP because God is there all the time. And all the time, God is there in the PPP. Look at the president. Look at the president. Can you honestly look at that man and say that God is not in the PPP? Come on, let's be real. Forget the biasness. Forget the prejudice. Can you honestly look at the president and the vice president and the attorney general and all the people who keeps Guyana's democracy together, the gatekeepers of Guyana's future? Can you look at those people and say that God is not with them? Which part of their aura do you see the devil? Now look at Norton. Look at Aubrey Norton. Seriously, it might be painful, but just take a look. Take an aspirin, then look at him. Take 2 aspirins, take some coffee. I know it's not easy. It's not easy, but try. If you don't look, you won't understand what you're comparing. The PPP is the only hope. It has always been the only hope. Those who cross over, welcome them. There is no going back. No going back. It is sad that Aubrey Norton is running a communist party. The PNC is a communist party. It is sad that in this modern day age, they're practicing communism in that party. That is not what the members signed up for. The members didn't sign up for that. But they had to experience that. Democracy is within the PPP. More will come. So by the time September is there, the PNC will not contest the election. They will not. So by default, the PPP will win. The PNC will not go on the ballots. They will be embarrassed to only have a few thousand from the ghetto vote for them. The PPP, if you don't look, might very well end up with 80% of all the votes cast. Might very well, if you don't look. You never know. Why? Because Guyanese are being freed from the spell of the Bornamites. They've been freed from that. So you can look and see that, hey, man, all these years, those who were supporting the PNC, what were we doing? Our vote matters. But we were giving this valuable asset to these people. Look at what they have been doing. Burnings on the road, blocking of the road, burning down people's investments, looting the Chinese, looting the Indians, harassing the Indians in public, harassing decent Black people. That's what they've been doing. That's what the average citizen will say who subscribed to the PNC. This is what we have subscribed to all these years. They're waking up and they're realizing, no, if the PPP were as dictator as the PNC is accusing them of being, if they were like that, all them people who have been saying evil stuff, making false claim, promoting fake news, and all them things, all those people would have been behind bars. Azruddin Muhammad would have been in jail a long time if the PPP were a dictator, as they claim. So the people in the PNC are saying, no, man, all these things are lies. We are seeing that President Ali, Vice President Jagdeo, and the PPP is not what you guys are claiming they are. All these things you're saying are fabricated. You can't prove any of it. But we're seeing that you, PNC, are the evil one. And we have to be honest with ourselves. We cannot stand with you anymore. This is why the people are leaving the PNC, because they realize that no, we have to be honest, true to oneself, and more will follow. More will follow. The young men and women of Guyana don't want any part in witchcraft. They want to be free. I mean, come on, man. If you look at it, look, if you look at it, put away your prejudice. You understand? The hardcore PNC people, I'm talking to you. What has President Ali did to you, personally to you? What has he done wrong to you as a citizen? What? Did he or his government harass you? Did they discriminate against you? Did they skip your village or your neighborhood? Did they take away grants from you, pension from you? How did the government of Guyana affected you as an individual? How? That you are so bitter and you're willing to spread fake news. You're willing to push propaganda. Be true unto yourself. Whatever religion you might be endorsing, be truthful unto that faith you profess. What you think if there's a black president, it means we president? Oh, he's black and he's president. It means that we president, all black people. No, it don't work like that. The same way you have this mentality. If some football player who's black wins the cup, or some Afro guy, Afro somewhere in America wins, you think it's you. They don't know you exist. Their victory is not your victory. So you can have Rihanna win the crown against a bunch of white people, and you celebrating. And she don't even know you exist. She won the crown because some white people sponsored her. So this thing that you have to support the PNC because it's a black party, you need to re-examine that. Because you have done it before all your life. In 2015, 2020, the things you are blaming the government for now, did the PNC give it to you? You're black, they're black. Did they give it to you in 2015, 2020? Had you not gone to the ministries? Had you any success? No. And they didn't help you. They're black like you. Now you're being unfair because the president is Indian, and you somehow think that the government, who in your opinion might be Indian, is discriminating against you because you're black, when a black government did nothing for you, and the Indian government, which is not an Indian government, they just happen to be the president who's Indian, the vice president is Indian, but the prime minister is black, and almost half of the ministers are black. So how is it an Indian government? How is it an Indian government when it's almost 50-50? How? But the PNC, you can say that was a black government because almost everybody was black. But how did it help you? It didn't help you when they were in power. But now you want, because you're borrowing the talking point from the PNC, and you want the Ali government to come to your ghetto neighborhood and to put something on camera, say, look, I'm helping all of these black people out. The government's job is to serve the citizen, not the black people, the citizens of Guyana, all the citizens. If the government comes to a neighborhood, that neighborhood has all kinds of people living there. The government build roads, put infrastructure, everybody benefits. The grants that the government has given from COVID time, the increase in salary, increase in benefits, all of that, it is for the citizens of Guyana, not black people. The government is not supposed to have a special program just for blacks. Such a government I would not support. But they're doing it. They have all these black organizations that are getting grants from the government to look after the interests of black people. How many Indian organizations are there that are getting grants from the government to look after Indian needs? How many? I don't know of any, but I know of a lot of black organizations that are getting money from the government to look after the needs of black people, as if the government is not already doing that. The free education. Who benefits? Every Guyanese. The free education from where? Nursery, from preschool to university. Free. Who benefits? Who benefits? The people who benefits the most in those social programs, educational programs, are the blacks. The black people are the ones who benefit the most. The government is giving $100,000 to every new birth. Go to the hospitals. Speaking of which, Diamond on the East Coast, a new hospital was commissioned yesterday. Brand new hospital by the government. Who does that hospital serve? On the Diamond there, East Coast, East Bank. Who does it serve? Indian people? Visit any hospital across the country. Any hospital. Go to the maternity ward. The ward where you have pregnant women giving birth. Visit any maternity ward and observe the ratio of women by ethnic identity giving birth. I am sure you will find more black women. So who is benefiting from this $100,000 per child? Who? Who is getting more of that money? PNC supporters. They have a thing they say that God don't love ugly. This is why God will never love Aubrey Norton. God don't love ugly. Aubrey Norton, I understand why you have to follow the devil. God can never love you because I was growing up as a boy and I heard that. God don't love ugly. So I get it. Norton, you don't have a choice. No wonder your people are running. You're a dictator. Dictators are ugly. Look at North Korea. Anyway, so let's be honest here. All the social programs, everything the government has been doing since 2020, the people who have benefited the most are the PNC supporters. All of these going easy on criminals from the judicial system. Who's benefiting from that? PNC supporters. They're the ones who are getting out on bail. They're the ones who are getting reduced bail account. PNC supporters. So tell me, where is the racism from the government side? Don't you think if the government really want to get at black people, they would stiffen the laws? They would pull all those loopholes in the laws where it can be real stricter, like in El Salvador or America or Europe. I told you the other day, in Africa, on the continent of Africa, there is practically no country on the continent of Africa that puts violent robbery under arms on bail. Almost none. Every person that commits robbery with under arms with the intention of wounding their victim or even killing their victim, those people don't go on bail. They go straight to prison. And the sentencing starts from 10 years to life in prison or death on the continent of Africa, even in Venezuela. The place that Aubrey Norton is supporting, Nicolas Maduro, even in Venezuela, you can go to prison for life. You can get a death penalty for robbery under arms. And in Guyana, a country where that should be a priority because of the riches, because of the amount of investment that's coming there, because of the amount of persons who are independent and progressing, because of the middle class being increased in their numbers, Guyana should have a stricter penalty when it comes to robberies of any kind. But look at the punishment. You can get off on bail to commit more robberies or to get away from the country. And you're talking about racism? You're saying the PPP is oppressing black people? And if a black president, if Granger or one of those, or Hoyt, wasn't it Desmond Hoyt who got rid of the death penalty? Wasn't he the one who eased it? If it was one of those and they had applied stricter rules when it comes to crime, you know, the blacks would not complain. They would not complain. They will support it. But because it's an Indian government, if he even think about that, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Caribbean this and Caribbean that, all these black organizations, they would even get some paid senator for America, some congresswoman, black, to come out and give a fake statement that the blacks are being pressured in Guyana. Yeah, they'll get all of that. But if it was a black president doing it, like what Obama did to all those Americans, those black Americans, they accepted it and they shut up. Now Trump is doing less. And look at what they're doing to Trump. Obama did it, and the blacks did not complain. Trump is doing less than what Obama did. And they hate Donald Trump because he's white. You see the double standard with these people? And now we have President Ali, who is doing nothing but feeding his nation. He is giving them what every father does who loves his children, a better life. He's giving them. I said a while back, possibly 2 months ago, that the Demerara River Bridge should be called President Irfan Ali's River Bridge, or the Ali River Bridge, or the Irfan Ali River Bridge. I said it 2 months ago. I am the first person, the first who started that conversation. I did. Check my videos. You have people surfacing now and yappy, yappy, yappy. They got that from me. They heard it from me. 2 months ago, I said it, or maybe before that. But if you go to my TikTok, because the previous Facebook, they shut it down, you know that. I still can't access it. But those videos are there. But thankfully, they're also on my TikTok. Go to my TikTok videos. I've labeled it. You can see that the Demerara River Bridge should be called President Ali's River Bridge. The same time I said, change the name of Georgetown to Cheddytown. The same time I said that, replace the name of Georgetown to Cheddytown because we're no longer under the British. So why should it be called after King George? It's no longer his. Cheddy is the father of democracy in Guyana. So change Georgetown to Cheddytown. That's what I said. Now you have all these people running around saying the bridge should be. Yes, of course it should be. It should be named after President Ali. Look at Suriname. We have the largest bridge in Suriname, which was built um, around the early 2000s, I think, by a black president. One of the worst they had. Under him, you had a lot of destruction, protests, and all these things. But waiting bus, President Waiting Bus. He died the other day. Rest dead. He passed away in this month, last month. The bridge was named Waiting Bus Brook or Waiting Bus Bridge. Why, while it may be on the documents as the Comawena, whatever, it is known amongst the people of Suriname as, in Dutch they call it Bosjebroek. Bosjebroek means Waiting Bus Bridge because he built it. It was under his government. He initiated that. It's the largest bridge. When you visit Suriname, you see that huge. The president. You have many bridges in America that is named after presidents in many countries around the world. So why the heck we have such a good, holy president? He don't drink, he don't smoke. The man just tries to dance. He just tried because he's a happy soul. President Irfan is a happy soul. He just wants to feed Guyanese, hug Guyanese, kiss Guyanese, dance with Guyanese, give them money and more money and plenty money. He wants to build nice things for Guyanese. He wants to make all the roads throughout the country concrete roads. He wants to bring all the airlines around the world to Guyana. He wants to build bigger buildings, bigger schools. He wants every village to have a hospital, every village to have a fire department. That's all he wants to do. Like, why can't you just name the damn bridge after the man? Name the bridge after the man. President Ali's, forget the president, but Irfan Ali's River Bridge. Fucking Demerara. Irfan Ali River Bridge. Get it over with. Every other country does it. You're gonna bother with the PNC. What can they do? What can they do? If it's officially Irfan Ali's River Bridge, if it's official, what will PNC do? Call it another name? They'll call it another name, or they will never get in power. So what's the fear? The bridge across quarantine, Burby's there. The Burby's Bridge. Why can't it be named under the president who actually was in power when that was built? Why not? Wasn't it Jack Deal? Why are we playing around with these things, man? A president comes and he does the glorious. Look at Mackenzie. It is named after the demon king, Lyndon. Not even his last name, his first name. So you know it's him. It's not his family that his surname born him. No, he don't want that. This is not my family. This is me. Name it after me. My first name, Lyndon. And everybody accepts it. It's legally enshrined into the system as the tongue of Lyndon, not Mackenzie. And that's a tongue. You're talking about a bridge that connects two counties where you have to drive over. You could name a whole tongue after that racist murderer, but you can't name a bridge after a peaceful, godlike president who has done a million better than any PNC president combined. You have to debate whether to name the bridge after Irfan Ali. Name the fucking bridge after Irfan Ali. Get it over with. Name it. This is why people, this is why I'm asking you, I'm encouraging you in September, whichever part of the world you are, go to Guyana and vote. Give the PPP the majority, not slim majority, large majority. Gave them a large majority win for the 2025 elections. When you give the PPP a 10-seat majority, the country can be smoothly ran. They can pass laws, they can do things that is in the interest of Guyanese. They don't want a one seat. They want a large win that cannot rig, that don't have to go to the ICJ or the CCJ or some J. Go home and vote. Give the PPP at least 40 seats. At least 40 seats in the National Assembly. For that to happen, you have to go home. Forget about all this nonsense about crimes. The PNC is going to be pushing that a lot for the next few months. They'll be pushing that a lot. They would have videos where Black people are beating up on police officers. They would have videos of robberies and all. They would make sure that they get these things to have them circulated on the internet so that you, the average Guyanese abroad, who wants to go back to vote, you're like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not going to that country. No, I'm not going there. But the PNC people will be going. While you, the PPP people, you're afraid because of what you're seeing, the PNC thugs, they're going to go. And they're going to vote for their dictator. You have to rule out the fears that you're seeing on social media. Rule it out. Get it out your mind. Go start planning now. Start planning now to go in September. All you need is a 2 weeks, even a week. You can register. I think you can register online. Go to the GCOM website, find out, get registered, see if your name is on the list. Show up with your ID card, your voter's card, whatever. Vote. Go and vote. They can't do you anything. I'm calling on the Minister of Home Affairs. Since you wouldn't be stepping down, okay, fine, keep your job. But you have to do what you need to do to assure the Ghanaian citizens at home and abroad that they have maximum protection from the law, from the law enforcement. Start having the police and the soldier, the military police and the civilian police patrol the streets. Now they should be seen everywhere. Give them the order to shoot on sight any criminal who will terrorize the Guyanese people. Shoot on sight. Give them that order. Go after them anywhere. Give the police the immunity to go into any house, and search for weapons, for drugs, any house. There should be no bail for drugs, no bail for weapons, no bail for robbery, no bail for murder or crimes. There should be no bail for any of these offenses. Lock them away. Lock them away. The Guyanese people need to vote. They need to go home to vote. Give them that assurance, Home Affairs Minister. Give the orders to the police. I read something where you're talking about pepper spray and baton and tasers. What's wrong with you? You have thugs. These Negroes are beating up on police, black police too, beating up on police because they saw the police has no weapons. You're sending police to patrol the streets among those criminals who themselves carry weapons, who probably were locked away for all kinds of crimes, and they are beating up on black police. And all the other races are watching. Say, hey, if these thugs can beat up on black police, what do you think they'll do to us? And the best you could do is talk about spray and tasers and batons when those thugs have guns and machetes. And what's wrong with you, man? What's the matter with you? Aren't you thinking, Ben? Robertson Ben, aren't you thinking? You're still being soft with these people. Give the police the order to shoot. Give them guns. You know those thugs are violent people. The ghetto produces violent people who have no soul. No soul. Police would always be the enemy to these criminals. Tasers. Give the police guns with live bullets. Guns. Give them guns. You will see how much respect they will get. These things get me angry. They get me angry. It's like your family is being bullied every day. Bullied. The man is disrespecting your wife, calling her names, telling her things, and slapping your sons around. Are you saying, we'll pray for him? We'll pray for him. You'll get your day. You know, karma, you'll get your day. We pray for him. But he's busy abusing your family, and all you could do is we pray for him. Let me tell you something. Whether I'm a priest, a pandit, or a magi, whatever, anybody, fuck around my family or my kids, prayer is what they would have to be doing. I wouldn't call the cops. I would not call the police. They would have to call the police. But anyone fuck around, my circle, and I have a gun or a weapon, I'm going to give you a warning and say, I'll pray for you. What am I, an idiot? No, you have to pray. So you are the Home Affairs Minister. And these criminals and these thugs are beating up on police officers. And you are telling the police you'll give them spray and baton to defend themselves against guns and knives and 2, 3, 5, a whole group of thugs. Give every law-abiding citizen of Guyana guns, firearms. Let the police patrol the streets with firearms. Spray, yes. Tasers, yes, but guns. Okay? Because you could tase one and the other one is coming to you. You could shoot a taser at one, but there are two more coming to you. One taser. How are you going to defend yourself? But if you have a gun and bam, the other two, they won't risk it. They wouldn't risk it. Let the police do their jobs with guns, live rounds guns. Give them the order. Every citizen should obey a policeman's order. That's the law. If a police give an order, the citizen has to comply with it. If they do not, it's called resisting arrest. And when someone resists arrest, chances are they have to be subdued however possible. Okay? You should know that, Mr. Ben. Protect your police officers with guns, not tasers, batons. Yeah. What are you, kid? Make all Guyana rich again, prosperous again, healthy again, peaceful again. This is Dr. Love Persaud saying, thanks for being a part of the show. I'll see you again on the next live at 5, right here on this YouTube. For now, I cannot again broadcast live via Facebook. This is because somehow Facebook tells me I can't until I guess another month or so. In the meantime, we're here. Subscribe to the channel. And if you wish to subscribe to what I'm doing, send me a message. There's no way that YouTube can get messages, but on Facebook, send me a message on Facebook. Let me know you would like to subscribe. Then I'll tell you how you do that. It's better to call to make sure that it's not somebody with a fake account pretending to be me. So call me on Facebook Messenger. Send a message, say, can I call you? And I'll know, okay, you would like to be a part of what I do, and I will take your call. Until next time. One Guyana. Yeah, there you go.